Next segment, we've got the offensive with our weekly awards. So the Week 11 awards, offensive players of the week. Who are your three here?
Three?
Oh, if you've just got one, that's fine.
Oh, three for each posse?
Nah, just in total.
Oh, sorry. I've done one per position.
No, that's fine.
But
mine are all different posies, actually. So.
To be honest, yeah. Okay. I'll go. Okay, number 3. I'm going to go Derrick Henry. 133 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown against a pretty tough Baltimore defense, and he scored that winning touchdown in overtime to get the win. We already know he's an absolute beast, but does it week in, week out, and had another great game.
Yeah, I feel like he's been going under the radar the last month, to be honest. They've played some real tough defenses, and he's been just quietly putting up numbers, and everyone's kind of focused on Dalvin Cook. But Henry's just quietly going to work. But yeah.
And his upcoming schedule is like the juiciest thing ever. He could have 200 rushing yards a game.
Yeah.
I'm going with Robert Woods as my second player of the week. Buccaneers, very tough defense, and Woods and Cup absolutely killed them. Whether you can put it down to McVay's system or them two balling out, I'm not sure, but Woods had an unreal match. 12 catches, 130 yards and a touchdown. And it's looking like him and Cup might be back in business for the last 6 games.
They do look back, yeah. The lads are back. Who's your final man?
Finally, number 1, Deshaun Watson. Got the Texans over the Patriots. I reckon you can call it an upset. I mean, they're both pretty bad, but I would have had the Patriots as favourites.
Patriots were the favourites, I think.
Yeah, I think it was close, but yeah, Watson absolutely balled out. 350 yards, 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. He's been going under the radar like a lot, I reckon, just because the Texans have been real bad, so people are just forgetting about them. But he's probably been a top 5 quarterback this season, arguably.
Yeah, I'm a Deshaun Watson fan. Like, I've frothed him ever since I've started watching NFL. I think he's a top 5 quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
Love what that man does. Yeah, he was one of my players. He was my second guy. My third guy was Travis Kelce, actually. Even though, like, everyone knows he's one of the best tight ends at the moment, I feel like he still goes a little bit unloved just because he's a tight end, not a wide receiver, but he actually dominates every single week. And this game he took over, he had 131 total yards, including a match-winning touchdown in the final minutes. So Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, one of the GOAT connections at the moment. Deshaun Watson was my number 2. And then my number 1 was Adam Thielen, actually balled out against the Cowboys. He'd been having a bit of a lull in the mid-season. He started well, good opening month, then he went a bit quiet, and then the last 2 weeks he's been back in force now that Dalvin Cook's kind of slowing down a little bit. By slowing down, I mean he's getting like 90, 100 yards, not 300. But yeah, he did play in a loss that's probably cost his team a playoff chance, but he had 123 yards from scrimmage, caught the ball twice in the end zone, including, did you see his catch? One of his catches in the back corner was insane.
No, the one-hander.
It was
he's done that 2 weeks in a row.
He's got some of the best hands in the game. But yeah, he actually killed it. I love him. Him and Jefferson are looking like we were just talking about Cup and Woods, obviously one of the premier 1 and 2 wide receiver combos, but Thielen and Jefferson already look like one of the best.
Yeah, right up there for sure. I'd probably put them above Woods and Cup.
Yeah, I actually probably agree with you. Jefferson's a freak. Honourable mentions, I'll shout out Kirk Cousins, even though in a loss I thought he played pretty well. Derrick Henry, as you mentioned. Dalvin Cook, so a lot of Vikings love here in a bad loss. Damian Bird. He started the season well, and then Jacoby Myers took over, but he had a big game. And then, Robert Woods and your man, Keenan Allen, on track. He broke the record for the most receptions in a Chargers game, I believe. And as you pointed out to me earlier this week, he's on track to beat Michael Thomas's record of most receptions ever in a season.
He's not on track, but he's a good sniff.
we were looking at it before.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think
he's got it in the bag.
he needs like 10 or 11 receptions a game to get
Yeah,
it.
surely he's averaging that. Man's a freak. Well, he gets peppered.
No, he's only averaging 8, but
okay.
he came off early in one of them, and one of them was with Tyrod Taylor. So
yeah, that is handicapping at its finest. Offensive rookie of the week. Who are you going with here?
Yep. So for me, it was obviously Justin Herbert. The man is an absolute freak. 366 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was against the Jets, but he balled out. But I do want to give a shout out to my boy Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That bloke is an absolute machine. Raiders are a pretty good run defense this season, just quietly. And he only had like 14, 15 attempts, but he took them for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pretty much ripped them to shreds, 5 yards a carry. And yeah, he's going to be a freak.
Yeah, he's my offensive rookie of the week, the big Clyde. As you mentioned, Raiders just quietly have been a top 10 rush defense since the start of October. And him and Lev Bell are starting to become a pretty solid complementary duo in the backfield for the Chiefs. Obviously, the limelight goes to the likes of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, but they've quietly been going about their business, and they combined for 3 touchdowns on the weekend. Bell, I'll be honest, I wasn't really an NFL diehard when Bell was at his peak, but just from the things I saw there, he's like a gazelle. He stands up so tall, and he just kind of strolls around, and then he just spin moves blokes. It's so weird. But yeah, Clive's an absolute bull up the middle. So they're a pretty good combo to watch. Honourable mentions, J.K. Dobbins had a bit of a breakout game, and Antonio Gibson, also a big reason why Washington got up over the Bengals, but obviously pretty favourable matchup, that one. And then, Jefferson and Herbert all played very well. Just quickly, defensive player of the week for me, Olivier Vernon, defensive end of the Cleveland Browns. I've heard of this bloke's name before, but I didn't know too much about him. But yeah, Myles Garrett wasn't playing this week, who's their normal pass rushing beast, but Vernon stepped up in his absence. Huge reason why the Browns won with only 1 touchdown. He had 3 sacks, 1 for a safety, had 3 tackles for a loss, which is probably the most underrated defensive stat because that's basically a sack just for the running back. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But yeah, he absolutely killed it. All right, game pick.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.